There's definitely something to be said about the determination of a farm girl. And a pair of fencer pliers. Time to take it off. Very creative last night, figuring out how to cover this dang apple tree. I'll get into that in a second. For now, I have to go and force my biatch of a cow to feed her calf that she's adopting. This is pretty much my new normal from now until what seems like eternity, or until this calf is pretty self-sufficient and can be weaned, because she's a horrible adoptive mama. And in my world, I don't feed bottle calves. I don't have time for that. I don't have the money for that. You're gonna accept it. And she's still producing milk, so I may as well capitalize on that. Unfortunately, I have to feed hay to her for a little bit longer. The other cow standing next to her has still not calved. Lily, I don't know. I don't know. The AI date was June 11th. I know for a fact that those yearling bulls would have covered her as soon as she came into heat. But maybe it will be June 11th, and I've just been waiting for a month for nothing. However, in the meantime, because I still have to do supervised visitation for my cow, I may as well explain to you why my apple tree was covered last night. In the great state of New York, we received a frost warning on the afternoon of May 19th, 2025. This made me incredibly thankful that this was one of those years that I wasn't on my A game and I didn't get my garden planted early like I should have. Because there were some years prior to children that I actually had time to get these things done, and before farm ownership, where I would have started planting my garden in early May. So in New York, you can still get frost up until the third week of May. Of course, we're still smack dab in varsity baseball season, so my husband does not get home until after 8, most of the time 9 o'clock at night when he has away games. So I had to wait until he got home because I was pretty confident I wouldn't be able to wrap this apple tree by myself. So we went out at 10 p.m. after I got the boys in bed. By 9 p.m., because they also, one of them had a Little League game, we go out armed with a tarp, finishing up chores, and I used some good old redneck ingenuity to get the tarp over the, 8-10 foot apple tree. I'm really bad at judging height. All I know is that I can't climb this thing. It's tall enough that it's not happening, and thank God I'm very relatively creative and I can get pretty much any job done with baling twine, a jackknife, and some minimal tools. Unfortunately, it was after dark and I have no lighting in my backyard, so maybe at some point when I get good and bored this summer, I'll make a demonstration video on how you can cover a really tall tree when you get a frost warning and you think that all of your fruit is going to die. Now, it was past the flowering stage. I'm not a fruit expert. Maybe the apples wouldn't have died, but I was not willing to take that chance. I honestly think that my husband was mildly impressed with my problem-solving abilities at 10 p.m. at night. I got the job done. And I never took those advanced classes like physics. All I know is what I've experienced. How do I get the end of the tarp over the tree? Well, we got some baling twine, we got some fencer pliers. I can figure that out. Then with some persuasion from the pitchforks, it all ended up working out pretty well. So I don't know if there actually was a frost last night. I'll find out when all my lilac flowers die, if they die. But yeah, so supervised visitation for this morning is just about done. I'll update you later when I'm at school. And there you have it. There's definitely something to be said about the determination of a farm girl. And a pair of fencer pliers. Time to take it off.